Let me move to Alabama if I can. The primary runoff happening there. You know that Katie Britt as well as Mo Brooks did not receive the majority. They're in a runoff. We just spoke to the congressman a few minutes ago. I know you've campaigned for Mo Brooks. Talk to me about what's happening in Alabama.
Well, listen, my philosophy on endorsements is that I support the most conservative candidate who can win. And in Alabama, that choice is clear. It's Mo Brooks. Mo has been a principled conservative warrior for years. I've fought side by side in the trenches with Mo. There's not been a stronger defender of securing our border than Mo Brooks. There's not been a stronger defender and warrior for President Donald Trump than Mo Brooks. And so I think Alabama has an opportunity to elect a strong conservative to the Senate. I hope that's what they do. That is a closely contested election. So it's going to depend on who shows up and votes. So if you're in Alabama, you have the ability to choose, will you send a strong, principled, proven conservative to the Senate? I hope the answer is yes.
I'll move to broader topics with you if I can. President Biden making news recently, talking about a gas tax holiday, some states tinkering with the idea. He was pressed on this, the president, and how much of that difference that would make on a $5 a gallon, according to AAA, average that we've seen through the states. Some states, as you know, is higher. Here's that moment.
That's all I'm considering.
How soon can we expect a decision?
Well, I hope I have a decision based on data I'm looking for by the end of the week.
He hopes to have a decision on that gas tax holiday, which would bring the prices down a few cents. I just want to point out this. President Obama in 2008 called this gas tax holiday a gimmick. Do you still feel that way? And talk to me about this administration, how they've handled gasoline costs as well as inflation.
Well, look, of course it's a gimmick. Joe Biden and the Biden White House, they're scared. They recognize they're headed to a bloodbath in November because the American people don't like the direction we're on. Every single policy of this administration has been wrong. And in many ways, it's remarkable. They've gotten wrong on so many things. When it comes to inflation, the price of everything's going up, especially gas. And the thing to understand on gas prices, this is not an accident. This is not an unintended side effect. This is what Joe Biden campaigned on. He told the American people when he was campaigning for president, if you elect me, I will shut down drilling. I'll shut down drilling on federal lands. I'll shut down onshore drilling. I'll shut down offshore drilling. And that's what he's done. He's followed through on his promise. You know, in 2019, under President Trump, America was producing 13 million barrels a day of oil. Today, under Joe Biden, we're producing 11.5. That's a 1.5 million barrel a day decrease. And as the little stickers say on the gas pump, Joe Biden, he did that. He knows that. So this holiday, maybe they'll do the tax holiday. It is directed at one day, Election Day in November. And as soon as Election Day is over, they want your gas to go not just to $5 a gallon. They want it to go to $6, $7, $8. They're aiming for $10 a gallon. And Biden has also said, he's been very candid. If you drive a pickup truck, if you drive a minivan, if you don't drive what they want to make your life miserable. They want to make it so you can't pay your bills because they want to force you to sell your pickup truck and buy a little Prius and obey their demands. And Joe Biden, get the hell off the backs of the American people. Stop playing games. If Biden wanted gas prices to go down, he could approve the Keystone Pipeline. If he wanted gas prices to go down, he could open up drilling onshore and offshore. If he wanted gas prices to go down, he could open up Anwar for drilling. If he wanted gas prices to go down, he could approve permits to build pipelines, because right now out in West Texas, you can't get a pipeline built to engage in new exploration. Joe Biden doesn't want to do that because he's in hock to the Green New Deal radicals. And this is a sign of desperation for the election in November.
Senator, before I let you go, and I know you got to go, the Supreme Court in about 25 minutes will start dropping opinions or rulings, rather. Many are waiting on Dobbs v. Jackson, a number of issues, but that has the potential to overturn Roe v. Wade. We don't know if it comes out today or Thursday or possibly next week, but regardless, your thoughts on this. There are dozens, pro-life centers that have been targeted throughout the leak of the opinion from Justice Alito. Do you have thoughts on that?
Well, we're going to see the decision soon in the next week to 10 days. And I believe the court is going to do something that many of us have been working for and praying for our entire lives. I believe the court is going to overturn Roe versus Wade. It was the right thing to do. Roe versus Wade was wrong when it was decided in 1973, and it's been wrong all 49 years of its history. It's resulted in the lives of over 60 million unborn children being taken. Now, when that decision comes down, we're going to see the left lose their mind. We're going to see, sadly, organized riots. I fear we're going to see organized violence. I think we're going to see something very similar to what we saw in 2020 with the Antifa and Black Lives riots across the country. We're already seeing Democratic politicians directing violent rioters to go to the justices' homes, to threaten the justices' homes. We saw someone arrested for attempted murder of Justice Kavanaugh, and I think we're deliberately going to see violence used as a tool of political terrorism by the left. And I got to say, Sean, it's infuriating that Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, refuses to enforce the law. It is a federal crime to protest at a justice's home while a case is pending. The Department of Justice under Biden refuses to enforce that law. We're seeing pro-life centers, pregnancy centers targeted, firebombed, and the Department of Justice is not doing a damn thing about it. And so if we do see organized left-wing violence, then it is incumbent on law enforcement to do their jobs to protect people and keep people safe. So when the decision comes down, I believe it will be a time for great celebration, but it will also be a time when we need law enforcement to do its job, and we need Merrick Garland and the political henchmen at the Department of Justice not to stand in the way of keeping Americans safe.